That's why I'm announcing today that I'm running for governor.
That is Doug Burgum last Thursday announcing that he is running for governor for the great state of North Dakota. Big question, obviously, is will Mr. Burgum be North Dakota's next governor? Good evening and welcome to 630 Point of View. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks so much for joining us. I got to tell you, I'm very excited tonight because Mr. Burgum joins us live here in studio for his first one-on-one TV interview since his announcement that he is running for governor for the great state of North Dakota. Doug, first off, congratulations and thank you so much for being here, sir.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So I'm getting a ton of questions, obviously, about your announcement. So I want to start with some of those. Then we'll get into some policy issues. One of the biggest ones is at your announcement last Thursday, you said, hey, I'm going to go through the convention. If I don't win, I'm going to go on to the primary, but I'm going to go to the convention to respect the process. People are saying to me, how are you respecting the process if you're not going to respect the results?
Well, part of the process I'm respecting is democracy. That's what our country was based on. But I do have a ton of respect for all the Republicans around the state that are active, they're involved. They come to district conventions like we had last night in Fargo. They get elected to be a delegate. They commit their time to be there. But I also know that we've got people all over the state. We have, mother of two in Minot. She may not have 3 days and $1,000 to come rent a hotel room, get babysitters for her kids, do whatever to be at that convention, but she still wants to have a say in who our next governor is. And I want to give all these people around the state a chance to do that. And the way we do that is by competing in a primary. Primaries were invented to broaden the democratic process and get more people in a party helping to select their candidate.
And I'm glad you're doing that. I guess my question to you would be then is just why not just skip the convention, take your time and money and just focus on winning the primary?
Well, certainly that has been done in our state, but I think for myself, I've been to a bunch of conventions. I've spoken at conventions. I've been honorary chairman for Ed Schaefer and Jack Dalrymple. I know a lot of people that go to the convention, and it's a fun process. I want to be a part of it. I'm going to all the district conventions. I'll be going around the state to talk to the delegates, and we're going to go in there and give it our best shot. But we're going to, whatever happens there, we're going to keep on going to the primary.
So let's create a hypothetical here, because I know the door was kind of open after the press conference on Thursday. It sounds like legally you couldn't go on. Let's say you lose the primary, you couldn't go on and run as an independent anyways, but tonight were you willing to make a pledge that, hey, if I lose the primary, I will support the Republican nominee that wins the primary?
Yes.
Thank you. A couple of things that jumped out to me at your announcement as well, and I want to use an analogy to get to where I'm going, because I think if anybody in North Dakota, you'll probably get this analogy best. And I want to set it up this way. Let's say you're on the board of a company, which I know you're on. How many boards are you on, by the way?
Right now I'm 5.
Okay, so this would be a good analogy. You're on the board of a company. You're on the board right now for, let's say, the best company in America, maybe the best company in the world. The board's happy. The shareholders are happy. The employees are happy. And a CEO, you're looking for a new CEO. CEO candidate comes in. He says, you know what? I know that I've got the ability to change the trajectory of this company. Things are rolling. Are you going to hire that CEO?
Well, first of all, I love this analogy. Thank you, because I've been involved in a lot of CEO searches, and I know one thing that happens when you have a open CEO spot is you actually do a search. You get the broadest number of candidates you do, and you don't say, hey, we've got this general counsel who's been our general counsel, been doing a job here for the last 15 years. Let's just have him be CEO. You say, if he's one of the candidates for CEO, let him apply, but you get a broad set of candidates in to compete for it. And I think, again, there have been a lot of things that have been going great, but that's with backward-looking economic data, and people thought things were going great in housing in 2007. But we're moving into a very entirely different economic situation going forward. Part of that's driven by technology, because the technology in oil production has created the surplus, and we're in for a long period of surplus.
And I want to get to some of the economics here in a moment, but I bring up this analogy tonight because when Doug announced, he said, and I quote, talking about obviously running for governor, I know I have the ability to change the trajectory of this state, meaning North Dakota. I want to share with our audience, and I know a lot of this stuff you're going to know, but share with our audience a graphic about where our state's been over the past couple of years, and then you talk about what this trajectory means. Poll taken back in January of 2015, 74% of North Dakotans said, yes, we're on the right track. 67 of those are all, even self-described Democrats think that we're on the right track. Here's the graphic I want to share. 2014 Gallup poll, North Dakota ranked #1 happiest state in the nation, and we don't even have sandy beaches. Also 2014, #1 highest in the well-being index, #4 in personal per capita income, 2015 lowest unemployment rate, largest percentage population growth, 4th youngest state in the nation, and I could go on and on and on. And my point of bringing this up, in 2000, 2004, we were ranked 38th in the nation in personal income. Our population was declining. So the trajectory seems to be pretty good. What specifically, when you say, hey, I can change the trajectory, what are you talking about specifically?
Well, I look at that list and I say, that's good. And I think of myself and the organizations that I've been involved in, organizations that have become world-class, organizations that have been, voted, best places to work in the country, top 100 type locations. And I say this is good, but I'm used to great. I want to go good to great. And I think this is exciting to me because we have the ability, we don't have the intractable problems that an Illinois or a California has in terms of the huge budget deficits, the red ink. We have an opportunity to reinvent ourselves, reinvent government, reinvent delivery of services. I mean, the platform that we're standing on right now is going to allow us to do things that other states can't even dream about, and that's what I want to be a part of.
One of the things you mentioned as well as your announcements is, hey, the state needs a fiscal reset. And the way I interpret that is, hey, we've been spending too much according to where economy's been growing. And I heard you saying we're going to have to make some cuts, and you're willing to do that. Where would you make cuts specifically and why?
Well, we are going to have to make some cuts, and if we take a look at where government has grown, again, what wasn't on your list is that government has grown faster than our economy. We've had one of the fastest growing economies in the country, but we've grown government faster. Whenever government's growing faster than the economy, then government's taking a greater share. And I'm a private sector free enterprise guy that I know that's what really, that's what's brought more people out of poverty in the world in the last 20 years. Almost 1 billion people have moved out of poverty because of free markets, free enterprise, and technology. That's what works. And so we are going to have a reset. But the way this election is going to work, the next governor is most likely going to be decided on June 14th. And so whoever's elected June 14th, from June 15th on, they're going to have a chance to work on a budget process. They're not going to have 3 weeks in November, December to work on it. And the process is going to be, I'm not someone who's going to do, I don't do 2.5% across the board, 5% across the board. Across the board cuts don't work because that implies everything is equally applied already. You have to get into the budget, dig in and figure out where the priorities are, fund the priorities, defund the things, and then reinvent delivery so we do more with less.
Next time we're going to talk about some specifics. I do want to do kind of some rapid fire, rapid response stuff, because one of the things, again, at your announcement, you said, look, I don't want labels in this thing. I'm not a labels guy. But because there's so many value voters in North Dakota, I think people want to know where you stand on certain issues. So I'm going to go through some things, and you can say, yes or no, or we'll make this kind of quick. Let's move on to Second Amendment. Do you support an assault weapons ban?
No.
Do you support any part of President Obama's executive actions on gun control?
No.
Pro-choice or pro-life?
Neither.
Neither. What does that mean specifically?
Well, this is one of these issues where the labels create so much divisiveness and so much polarization that the two sides aren't even talking to each other. And I've visited the people in both of those camps and I've said, what is the thing that really is the root problem you're trying to solve? And the closest I've been able to come, and I'll keep listening to voters across the state, but the closest I've been able to come is that people want to have fewer unwanted pregnancies. That's a problem that I'd like to work on. Because these wedge issues and the labels, they're great for TV ratings, they're great for getting out the base, they're great for fundraising, they're great for a lot of things they do, but they haven't been great at solving the problem because all the people going to the edges hasn't reduced the number of unwanted pregnancies, and that's something, if that's the root issue, let's work on that, and let's work on it together.
Same-sex marriage, you support same-sex marriage?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the refugee situation. Governor Dalrymple, a lot of governors across the country have said, hey, you know what, let's put a stop on Syrian refugees until we get this thing worked out with a better security screening process. Would you support stopping Syrian refugees coming into America until that's figured out?
I think that we need to have a rethinking of our whole immigration process. This is a country that was built on immigration. I'm sure, like everybody listening in tonight, like myself, I had a grandfather that was born overseas. Immigration is part of what makes our country rich and what makes it great, but we have to provide the right kind of security in terms of how we bring that in. I think having a particular ban on one country may or may not be the right solution because many of these people have gone through horrific situations to try to get there. We're the bastion of freedom. We need to be a place where we can.
But the FBI director, James Comey, said, hey, we cannot screen all these people effectively. So until he can do that, are you okay with stopping this? Or
I'm not. That's one where I would just say I'm more about I'm more about immigration.
Okay.
Coming into our country than I am about stopping it, because I feel like that if you travel the world as I've done, we are the bastion of freedom. We are the place that people dream about coming to. And if we pick one particular country and say this group can't come, I don't know what signal that sends to the world.
And I don't mean permanently. I just mean until our FBI director and we can go, hey, we've got because you look what happened obviously in San Bernardino. That visa process didn't work, and you've got 14 Americans that were killed. Last question for you.
I just don't know that any Syrians are any more dangerous than somebody coming from another country. So I feel we have to fix a large larger problem versus blame one particular group that's, fleeing from a horrific dictator and a war-torn country.
Big conversation in the state of North Dakota right now is about Lutheran Social Services, and obviously they're managing the refugee resettlement program. I think it was back in 2010. The state was managing the program, then they gave it over to LSS. If you were governor, should the state run the refugee resettlement program or LSS?
That's a question that I would have to dig into.
Okay. Doug, thank you so much for being here, man. I really, really appreciate it. One last question. This is from a viewer I want to bring up and do this briefly, but Nick from Fargo tweeted us, and I'm going to stick with one of these things here. The last question he's got for you. What word or words, if you can keep this brief, please, will be used to describe North Dakota in the future? So if you're the governor and you look out 4-8 years from now, what would you want people to say in one word or two words about North Dakota?
Exceptional.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Or exceptional.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
All right, Chris.
Very,
Thank
very
you.
much. Good luck on the trails. Look forward to having you back.
Yeah,
okay?
thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Stay with us when we come back. Congressman Kevin Cramer, who also went by the convention, is going to join us next. We're going to talk about him, get his thoughts on what Mr. Burgum had to say. And the Senate today said no to the SAFE Act, which actually was about the refugee screening process. We'll get Congressman Cramer's thoughts on that. I'd love to know your point of view on what Mr. Burgum had to share with you tonight. Just head to our website. You can email us, text us. We'll be back with much more right after this.